everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and blog. Today we're going to use this paper rose stamp set called Creators Tools, and we're going to use, it's got some really cute little arty bits and pieces in it, and we're going to use those three little stamps right there. So we're just going to call them a bit of glue, some brushes, and a bottle of paint. Okay, that's what we're going to call it. I don't know what it's meant to be, but that's what we're going to call it. It's a super simple little card today with only a little bit of colouring, and frankly some of that colouring is not much shading or anything that's going to be involved in that. But we are going to have to mask off some of our images because we want them side by side, and I want that little bit of, in captions, paint underneath my thing of brushes, my container of brushes. So we're going to stamp that in Memento Tuxedo Black because that's my favourite ink pad to use with Copic markers. That's a full stick post-it note, which just makes it super easy and super handy. You can just get it at Officeworks. It's easy to find. And we're going to stamp this up, but we're going to remove some of the, just with my fingers because you know that's how I roll. And we're going to use the Hydrangea ink from Altenew. See? We're going to use a few inks out of Altenew, including Crimson, Olive, and Hydrangea. And you'll see how later on. And we have to just cut off a little bit because the glue bottle was a little bit higher than the other one. But see what I mean? Like simple. We don't need to fussy cut the whole thing. Just fussy cut out what we need. Here we go. Bit of glue. Oh my gosh, it's getting late and I've been procrastinating over doing this voiceover and I don't really know why. So we're looking at sentiments here, and they've got one that says creativity is contagious, pass it along, and I think we're going to use that. And again, we're going to just stamp it out in, I'm just double checking that it's straight because it can be a bit hard to see sometimes. We're going to stamp it out in the Memento as well. Clean it all off, and there we go. There's the basics of the little card. As I said, not that hard. So we're going to colour in with Copic Colours, and I'm going to use the Sandy Allnock hex chart just to match up the Hydrangea ink to something that might blend in properly. So we're going to use, I think I looked away if I showed you. We're going to use BV17, BV13 and BO4. If I could talk, that'd probably be handy. So this part we're sort of going to colour in. I think I got a little bit overzealous with my marker, and I'm just trying to figure out before where to put everything, frankly. And we're just going to try and do all of it, but mostly the pens, the brushes and everything else are going to be one colour on the whole. I think later on I get a little bit lazier and I just colour it all in one go. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. As I said, I did this a lot. Oh, I'm picking other colours. So we've got Y17, Y15, 13 and 11. And this was sort of before that I really sort of slowed these things down, so forgive me, you don't really get to see too much of those. It gets better in other videos to come, including me zooming in a little bit more. It's a learning curve. I'll get there sooner or later. So, you know, purple and yellow are opposites, so they just sort of go well together, and I was just playing with the colours, frankly. So in my blog post, all these colours will be listed again for all the bits and pieces I've done, and you can easily just pick it up from there. Let's see, some of them I've done a couple of shades of yellow, but those smaller things you really don't need to worry about too much. And so then we've got YR15, 12 and N3. Just a little bit of variation, frankly. So I did this card a little while ago, and it's been sitting there for a while. I think I was having problems with lots of bits and pieces. I think I used a little bit of N just to tone things down there a little bit and give a bit of extra shading. And N3, that's right, N3, to give it a little bit of shading. Now we've got E27. Well, in the end altogether I use E29, 27, 25 and then a 32. The 32 is a little bit of an oddball, but I think mostly it was just to give the pens a little bit of different colour in them. Not pens, brushes. Brushes to give a little bit of a different colour in it. We're just going to go through and colour everything up. So it's pretty straightforward, it's simple, it's a card that can be knocked out really quickly. See, that's our 30. E57 and N3 for the brush pen tips, just a bit of colour, bit of difference. So we've got a few browns happening in there. So we've got B28, 24 and 21. I said I've gotten a bit better in my editing since doing this, so you'll just have to work with me. Just working. So it's really simple. I hope you don't hear my elephants running down up and down the stairs. At least they're not yelling. So at this moment in time, I'm just going to give myself a thing for everything to sit on. I don't like things floating, so we're going to give a bit of a bench for them to sit on. And then we'll do a little bit of C's, C4, C2 and C1 just underneath it, just to give a little bit of shadow and ground everything off. Yeah, I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm not going to do just a little bit of shadow. I did forget about that. My bad. I said I did this card a little while ago. I've got to get better at. So we're going to flick some. This is where we've got our crimson, our olive and our hydrangea. And what you can't see, there we go. We've just mixed it up. We've watered it down a little bit of on an acrylic block, and we've just flicked it everywhere. I'm trying to figure out what to use, and this is just a bit of blue from my stash. And I had a Pritt tape runner, and I'm like, well, why aren't you using all this up? So I don't usually use tape, because usually once you go down, it's down. I like the wiggle room. Like and subscribe, and thank you very much for stopping by.